sure I have all my notes, which are absolutely none.
Great. He's like, I'm looking at a menu right now.
What's for dinner? 1, 2. Yes. It's your boy DJ Klyph, man, back at it again. It's another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast, man, and we've been doing this thing. I started doing it once a month, and now it's kind of becoming once more than a month because I have had the opportunity to connect with so many wonderful people, man. So remember, there's all kinds of ways that you can check out the podcast, man. The easiest way is probably just go to the website, djklyph.com. But the podcast is available on iTunes and Stitcher and TuneIn Radio and Google Podcast Player and, I don't know, wherever you listen to your podcast. So go subscribe, man, and hear some great stories, get to meet some really great people and find out what's going on, not just in the neighborhood, but really all over the planet. And remember, you can catch me live every Saturday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on X-Ray FM, 107.1 FM, 91.1 FM. Streaming online everywhere at xray.fm, straight out of Portland, Oregon. So check me out. And, of course, I'm also on social media, DJ Klyph, DJ Klyph. But, of course, you know that because you listen to the Klyph Notes podcast and you listen to Welcome to the Neighborhood. Anyway, super excited to have an opportunity to chop it up with some wonderful people who've been doing some great things here in Portland for a minute, and there's some celebrations that are happening. We definitely want to let you folk know about them. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask my guests to introduce yourselves.
Hi. I'll go first. Get out of the way. I'm Natalie Figueroa, one of the founders of Y.G.B.
Come on.
Shy till I die. That's it. That's all I got.
I'm Vaughn, Kimmons. I'm also from Chicago. Use my awkwardness and blackness to, help visualize and conceptualize Y.G.B. I'm a musician. I sing about blackness and space. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Ooh, I'm Lamar, LeRoy, and I'm just a DJ.
How you gonna say just a DJ when you're on my podcast even? Come on now.
I'm one of the whack ones, one of the wackest DJs in town, I swear.
Here you go, bro. Here you go.
I mean, thankfully, I met up with these two and got a part of Y.G.B, so. But that's my only shining moments when I'm there. Outside of that, don't check me out.
Oh my God.
It.
Don't make
lies,
me hurt you.
Lies,
okay, please.
I'll tell you more later.
You better talk about them. Man. Oh my God.
I do things. Now, I've been here for a minute, since like 2009. Moved up from Las Vegas where I started DJing professionally, but I've been doing this since like 98. Old with that. I built speakers. I want to put some stuff out there for you soon. Custom math. You'll have to find that when I get it all together. You can Google that. You might find it. You might not. But the site ain't quite ready. But it'll be ready by the end of the week, I swear.
That's dope, though, man. That's dope. So first up, I just want to say thank you so much for coming through. I had to say I've been following from afar, which is one of the dope things about social media. All of the events that have been going on, and of course connected with a lot of people who are connected with Y.G.B. But I have I'm just putting it out there, man. I haven't yet made an appearance at any of the events.
Oh, you look uncomfortable.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. We will send a car to your house.
All right, that's what's up.
We sent
got
Uber.
that on tape. We got that on tape.
No, not the Uber. Don't send the Uber.
No Uber.
No Uber. Nah, Lyft.
Nah, send it a laugh. We'll send a Lyft.
All day.
We'll call somebody's cousin.
Right.
The jitney is coming. Give him $5.
For real, throw me in the back of the pickup. I don't care. You know what I mean? But for starters, man, talk about Y.G.B. Like, what is for those who don't know, what is Y.G.B.? Awkward silence.
I know. I talk a lot, so I want to give space for other folks to talk because I'm always the one who's like, well, anyway, here's our song and dance. So, I want to give space.
I mean, for me, it's really just been a big introduction to like all the people that I didn't get to see when I moved to Portland. Like all the things that I was just like kind of bitter about moving from Michigan to Portland. It's like, man, where's all the black people? Mm-hmm. And then Y.G.B. happened, and it's like, oh, all the black people are right in front of me. And, you know, it's like, that's just amazing in itself, having that happen. Outside of that, it's a thing that pushes black and brown people to the forefront. You know, I got put on. We always try to have multiple people in our events, like from whatever task it may be, from photos to video, people performing, people just being there, feeling the energy. So that's what it is. It's just a connecting glue for brown people. You know, another one, not the only one, but definitely one of my favorite ones.
Word up. Word up. You know, and it's interesting because I think that's often the case for folk. Like I'm not a native Oregonian, so when people come from out of town, and you can't help but look for, you know, I look for somebody who just kind of looks like me or who has the same interests that I do.
Yeah.
And so I think it's so wonderful that you folk have put this together to create that for people who are coming in and just trying to figure out where can I get in. It's funny. I had the honor of doing an interview with Open Mike Eagle.
Oh, nice. I know him.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Right? Of course you do.
Oh, yeah.
And he was coming up to do a show, and I was like, yeah, you know, come on through, whatever. And he was like, yeah, you know, next time I come, man, like, well, the black people. Right. You know what I mean? So again, it's cool that you have this collective that creates that opportunity for people to connect and then bring their connects in. Talk about the opportunities that people have had, some of the experiences that people have had to get together. I know that just recently you guys did an amazing event at Pica's TBA Festival, which was well attended.
Yes, that was a blessing.
Yeah.
That was a blessing.
Yeah.
Because of our collaboration with Doug, right? And they do all that wonderful work around like you know, creating those open mics for people and having those all ages events. And so it was our first opportunity that we could really do something together. Because we always support each other's events. Right. And, you know, that's the other thing, too, that Y.G.B, like, that's the biggest thing is that this is not about us, right? Like, this is about, like, making sure that everybody else knows what's going on. Right. So I'm going to pump your show even if we have nothing to do with it, right? Because there's something for all of us. There's no scarcity. We can all do well, you know? So the Doug thing at Pike was amazing. 1,000 people showed up. So crazy. 1,000 people. So crazy, yeah. And that room was like just so beautiful and so diverse in all the ways. And everybody was so, you could just feel the like freedom in the air, you know? Like everybody just like let go of some breath and enjoyed it. And it was incredible. Yeah, I mean, it was better than we could ever imagine. And Pica supported us. Yeah. Because what happens a lot with stuff like this, right, it's frightening because then people come and they kind of are like, oh, I like the thing you do. I'm going to just take it as at my own and I'll put all these restrictions on it. Right. And Pica was like, do what you do. Right. That's why we hit you up. Yeah. So that's incredible.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. And again, just another example of people who are working together, see the grand vision and saying, I don't necessarily know what it is that you do specifically within your genre or within your, but I see the passion behind what you're doing, and I have a platform, so come on through. And how can I support that? Which I think is super, super dope. Shout out to me. I was talking to her before the event, and it's funny because from afar seeing the collaborations or the support like you mentioned that Doug and Y.G.B have, again, two entities that really felt like one. You know, just looking at it from afar. Yeah. Obviously, that's important to you folk as you're growing this thing.
Yeah. The other thing is, those are our friends.
Yeah.
You know,
you can't help but to support your friends. So yeah, it's like seamless because you want to make sure your friends are growing too. You know, it's like we can only grow if you're growing.
Right.
Like it doesn't happen. Like it's not like independent of you know someone else. Everybody has to grow together. So yeah,
which is cool. As you guys came together collaboratively and thought, let's do something like this. What were some of the challenges that you saw early on in terms of being in a city like Portland that has shown a lot of growth over the last couple of years, but over the last couple of years, just prior to that, there weren't a lot of opportunities for a collective like this to do something like what you guys have done.
Ooh, I'm like the first thing that comes to mind is the Y.G.B era. You know, is that cool?
What?
Like, Y.G.B.
Y.G.B.
You know, the Dynasty days of like, oh man, what's all this in here? I mean, we're definitely all inclusive, but like for a minute there was a alternate name for Y.G.B, and that was Y.G.B, because you know our doors are open.
Oh yeah,
and
we were getting over.
A little saturated with
white folks.
Culture,
okay, I got you. Okay, I was like,
he's trying to be nice and stuff.
Right, I'm trying to be nice. We on the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm the darkest one. I'm not trying to like get called out on Breitbart, be like, you know, those darkies over there talking about our people, you know.
Yes,
so.
But that was a challenge, right? Like guarding the space.
Yeah.
We had to literally guard the space. How many times did you have to like
go dance on the dance floor?
Yeah. No, seriously. Like we had to be like, yo, this is who this is here for, and it shifted to a point where we created a guest list that was like 70 deep, so and it was just like, you're on the guest list, and so just to prioritize Black and brown people, because all these white folks showed up and they were like, that looks like a fun party.
Right.
We're gonna come in and fucking take up all the space, you know. So that was a challenge. And Dynasty was open to us having that party there. I'm lucky, right? Because like I got light skin, right? I'm very and people look at me and they're like, oh, you seem fine. You seem nice. Okay. Yeah, sure. Come on in, Craig. You know, like growing up, my mom used to say, my mom was like, sometimes you got to put your white lady voice on and they'll listen to you. She's like, and then you just do what you got to do. Right. And I was like, you're absolutely right. So Dynasty was all about it, and I appreciate them for that. But I shopped Y.G.B to other people. And first questions, are there going to be gang violence there? Do you think, you know, and I'm like, I'm talking about liberation and glowing up, and you're talking about gangs? Like, what? You know? So yeah, even with our success, you know, there have been a lot of people who are like, well, what is that going to mean for us? Should we get extra security? And I'm like, no, you know, but after we've done enough successful parties, and after TBA, now people are like, oh, hey, Fred.
Right.
And we're like, oh, now you want to say what's up? I see you.
Wow. I mean, and that's, you know, that's to be expected when people see things that become successful. Then people want to now I want to be involved in it because I see that. Oh, okay, y'all are really doing something.
Yeah, and they can make money off of us, right? Yeah. And that's the other very real thing is that people are like, oh, folks come out to this. Okay, cool. Yeah. We can charge this much at the door. We know our bar will, you know, sell this much. So yeah, come on through.
Right.
So
then I guess, to be fair, then on the flip side, as you were trying to build this thing and obviously having the support of one another, which is invaluable, were there any surprises in terms of people or entities that stepped up and said, how can we help? We mentioned Pica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, I guess I'll be Andre Middleton.
Shout out to Andre.
Man. Yeah. Andre Middleton is the truth. Yeah. Every time I'm like, yo, Andre, we need a PA, or we need this, or we need that. He's like, how can I get it for you? Let me know. Give me 20 minutes. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So just like as an individual who has done all the work of like, you know, hustling in this city and really trying to build connections, like he's so down for us. Yeah. And that's just like invaluable. Yeah. And if I have a bad day, or if whatever, you know, he's like there to be like, what do you need? Yeah. You know, so
a very real individual who's really making avenues for people of all different races, creeds, colors, everything, right? Ages, you know, friends of noise that he's involved in. So that's really cool. So it's always good to hear his name dropped.
Yeah. And Rene Lopez.
Shout out to Rene. That's my girl. Miss Lopez Media. Yes.
I knew her because of organizing, right? Black Lives Matter stuff. And then, Don't Shoot PDX. I was in Chicago. All that crazy stuff went down. Yeah. With Glenn and Marcus and the shooting. And I hit her up and I was like, yo, if you need anything, let me know, because I know how hard it is to hold all that, you know? Right. And so we just built this relationship, and then I went to a couple other things, and I was like, Rene? She's like, Natalie? I thought you'd be taller. I was like, I know, me too. And then from there, she hit us up, and she was like, do you guys need a photo booth? And we were like, I mean, we were literally in the living room being like, we need somebody to take pictures. And then she hit us up, and she is the great connector. She is. Right? Like, and hustling consistently. So, like, without her and all the work she's put into building community in the city, like, we would not have had as much, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, credibility.
Right. Well, I mean, and I think, I know from an artist standpoint, a lot of times, it's hard, it's challenging, because oftentimes your focus is your art, and you're looking for a platform to share your art. And in a city, in any city really, it can be hard, and it can be challenging, and it can be discouraging. And I've had enough opportunities to speak to enough artists who feel discouraged, and some who have looked for opportunities elsewhere, and found opportunities elsewhere, and are having success elsewhere. Yeah. And I've always, when I was doing the show at KZME, there were a number of artists who came through, and they told me that they were getting ready to leave to go to LA, go to Oakland, to go to New York. And I used to be like, yo, no, wait, don't go. We could do it right here in Portland. You know, and then you get to the point where you're like, nah, I mean, I get it. You know, those opportunities aren't presenting themselves. But now that as an artist, you know, you have this platform, you have this space to create and build with other artists. Do you see that changing now? Do you see artists who are here in Portland saying, nah, now we have a collective, now we have a place that can sort of support what I'm doing. Let's build into that.
I definitely feel that, especially coming from Chicago. And I mean, I was blessed to know people here who like connected me to other people. Yeah. Right. So that was awesome. But just being here and the way people embrace you when it comes to offering opportunities or coming to like your shows, you know, coming from Chicago, I wasn't performing in Chicago. I didn't start performing until I moved here. But like my first show, I would tell people like, oh, I have this show, and people show up. In Chicago, you could tell somebody you got something. They're like, oh, I'll see if I can make it. I mean, no disrespect. I love Chicago till I die. But it's like, it's a different way of life and a different way of thinking. Yeah. But here it's like, oh, my coworker who I've been working with for 2 weeks just showed up to my show. Like, that boggled my mind. And so you immediately felt the love. Like, everybody has like this like thirst to create and support one another, that it just is easy to do well because you have like, or at least me, I've had like so many loving people at least me, around me. I'm like, let me speak for myself before I speak for her.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I've been engulfed in the love that's just been like, fly away, do your thing. And I'm like, I'm tired of doing it for us. I'm doing it for us. I'm representing us all.
Right. Which is probably why you get so much love, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because if that's the intention, right?
I mean, and that's so dope because, you know, you don't always get to hear those stories. And so it's wonderful to hear that as an artist, you do feel that support. You do see that support. And that builds into the greater, grander scheme. You know?
I'm like, I know what quarter like inch, you know, cables are, and like DIs and XLR and all that stuff now, you know.
That's what's up, man.
It's all because all the people around me like been helping me like gain all this knowledge about so many things that relate to like what I do. So I'm like grateful.
Now I definitely feel like on a whole, just like Portland period is a good place for that sentiment of like feeling included, feeling that like whatever you're trying to pursue personally and creatively, you can get out there and people will respond to it. And specifically for us, people that look like us and what we're trying to do, I feel that we are at a point where there's a lot of people making good music, good art. And as long as we can keep that going, you know, as long as people are creating it and we keep it together, we're good. The only problem is the drawback of Portland is like there's a lot of, you know, that crabs in a bucket mentality too. So you just gotta like keep that in check. Like I was just saying earlier, like there are so many real oppressors, and it seems like a lot of us end up trying to call out each other as the oppressor when we're all just trying to like figure out what's going on.
Right.
It's like you could just be like, hey man, I think what you did might have been, you know, a little bit foul, you know, you should think about that. But no, it's just like a drag culture nowadays, and that's that kind of shit is boo-boo.
Yeah.
We don't want that, you know? Like, let's build, you know? Like, you could be busy making some music, like, fucking writing a resume, doing whatever, but, you know, you're like, oh, this motherfucker over here is doing this better than me, so I think that I should say negative, and my homies, let's ride on them. Like, no, fuck that. You know? Like, it's just fucking stupid. Like,
It's true. Simultaneously, there's a lot of love and support,
Yeah.
and then there's also some of that too, which I think I always try, and I try to hang out with people who are on that same thing of like, can we not anymore?
Right.
Can we have no more gatekeepers?
Right.
Can we have no more? You know, like there isn't a scarcity. The barrel was never our original home. Right. We are not crabs. You know, like right. Can we move forward now? Right. And I think there are enough people who are about that life, but yes, there are some folks who are clinging to it.
And so much of that, I think, is just a part of culture anyway.
Yes.
I think oftentimes people just don't know how to support one another.
Yeah.
But again, having a collective like this where that is not promoted, and there's a whole education like you talked about, even that sort of education that goes on when you're a part of that collective, you realize, oh, this is what real support is like.
Right. Because if you've never gotten love, how do you know how to give love?
Come on, now.
Right?
That's
So that's ours is love and liberation. That's it.
No doubt.
Right, just a quote comment, you know, I love this way because I got it as a child.
Yes.
My word is bond on that. Love you, family.
Oh, my word is bond on that. So please end this episode with my word is bond on that. I love you, Vaughn.
So there's we talked about some of the events that you folk have presented to the masses, and there's a series of events that are coming up where people are going to have an opportunity to come through and build and connect, and maybe for the first time, maybe we'll see people who have been supporting the whole time. But talk about one.
Yeah, we're about to glow up, as they say.
Come on, man.
What do young people say?
Yes, it's amazing. So we have Rashid Jamal.
My guy.
Man.
Word up, neighborhood resident all day.
So talented. Listen, I am a picky person when it comes to the music that plays on a loop in my ear. You know, like I have a very discerning taste. Right. And he is on a loop. You know, like in my playlist of everything. And that feels so good. Sometimes you want to support the homies because you're like, oh, you're trying to do the thing. And I kind of will. But it's like, no, this is just good. Right. This is just phenomenal. This beat is amazing. Mm-hmm. Your everything, the delivery. So he's like our featured guest. He is the featured guest. So I'm excited for his energy. And Quaz is DJing or like playing his beats. Quaz is also an amazing producer and DJ. And then we have Soul Trigger. So they're bringing like street dance. Okay. So they all do like popping, locking. They do some crumping too. They're dope. Word. So they're gonna do a piece. We have Stephanie Adams Santos from Tarot Obscuro. So she is gonna be creating the magic inside of Y.G.B. So she'll be doing tarot readings and like spells, and she's the truth. Yeah. Like. You can come and get your whole life read to you. Like, have you gotten a reading by her yet?
No, not yet.
Oh my God, you have to do it.
I will this time.
She's gifted.
Okay. Last time she was like Vaughn, and I was like, I will, and I missed it. So.
You were scared. You were like, I'm not ready. Yes. And then do you want to explain what y'all do? SSL?
Oh man. I mean, there really isn't an explanation. It's just pure unscripted, I don't know, stuff. Love. On the stage.
Okay.
We take 3 disciplines and we apply them.
So what is SSL?
SSL stands for Sarah, Shook, and Lamar, because we like it to be simple like that. Yeah. And that would be Sarah, a dancer, doing tap, Shook on the drums, and me on the turntables.
That's what's up.
And just see what we come up with.
Are you familiar with Shook? Shook Black? No. He's from here. Okay. He's a phenomenal drummer. He's traveled the world.
Too.
Yes.
Dude, be on it.
Yes. He's traveled the world playing drums, and he's in Portland. It was interesting because he the story of I got to get out of here to be successful. Right. And it was funny because we met right before the Pike event. Uh-huh. Mia connected us to him. Yeah. And he was like, this is what I was looking for. Yeah. He's like, for real, I was going to go to LA. I was going to like go to California, not to tell this man's story, but like, you know, like he was just like, this is what I needed. Right. And, you know, they connected, like, you know, and y'all just built that beautiful thing. And and Sarah's amazing. Yes. Yeah. Like just to say that she's a tap dancer. I mean, she's, Yes, she's a performer. She's an artist. I mean, yeah, it's going to be good. Just take my word for it. When's the last time you seen tapping out at the club?
Been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know.
Where could you find one of the dopest MCs in Portland and then tap dancing on the same stage, and it's just like the most natural flow, like so blessed. All these like amazing people.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, and again, that's one of the great things about this collective is that you get to come out and see so much art, so much beauty, so much history in one place. Mm-hmm. It just shouldn't be missed. So that event happens
Saturday.
It's Saturday.
2-4 at Holocene. Yeah. 9 to 2 a.m. Show up early.
Word up.
Cause
don't be texting talking about.
Right.
Can I get in? Can you come
get me out this block?
Get there early.
Don't
put us in that position because you know we love you and that like our homies are outside. Darn it! Don't do that to us. Please don't do that to us.
And I try. I will drag people. I'll be like, oh, you remember so and so, right? And drag them up to the front. Like, yes.
So just like we're gonna do it, but just don't keep putting us there.
Yeah. Yes. Saturday night at Holocene. It's gonna be beautiful.
That's what's up. As we're talking, I'm trying to pull up all the info, but just know it goes down Saturday night at Holocene. Mm-hmm. Why one?
Because it's a new start. It's one. It's start. It's everything. It's just one. You know? Chilling like one, my dude. You know, when we like swapped out peace, it was one.
So I like that. That's good.
Oh, that makes me think of Wu-Tang. Sorry, think of a Ghostface track.
One. Inspiration. See, no, for real, that's
we
it.
Smoke at a time.
Oh yeah.
Wu-Tang reference all day. Wu-Tang Clan all day. Oh, they're for the children.
They're for the children.
My God.
Put that out there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit up the YouTube when I get to the crib. I ain't heard that in a minute.
I love it. Great. So Medina, who's one of the Doug members, we were talking about like we're trying to come up with like visuals for the flyer and all these things, and we were talking about themes 2017 2017. Yeah. You add all that up in numerology, you get the number 1. Right?
Oh, word?
Yes.
That's what's up.
Check out when you add up 2016, it comes to 9. 9 is about death. Oh, yeah. 9 is about like transition, moving. 1, on the other hand, is about rebirth, freedom, moving forward, right? Like checking your ego too. There's a lot of that in there. So 1 is like, and 1 is the beginning of everything, right? Like without 1 is the root. Without our roots, then we can be nothing. So that's where that idea of 1 came from. And we're like, we're just going to carry this in 2017, and it's just going to be about moving forward and rebirth. That's it.
That's deep.
Check it out. I'll send you some. Yeah, I told you.
That's what's up. I think that one of the other things for me that's refreshing, someone who's a curator of music and really believes in using whatever platform I have to support and promote those who are doing who are doing righteous things. I think it's so cool to see the focus on what you folk are doing being so different, because it's not about how can I flip this into pushing my agenda? But there's got to be a struggle there as well. How do you balance that?
Ooh. I mean, just by doing it, you know? I mean, whatever comes out of you is going to mostly be you unless you're being swayed. And I don't think any of us are being swayed by anything outside of us. So, I mean, just as a DJ in general, that's the constant struggle. Like, for me, I'm 34 now, so going out, the majority of my crowd is, like, a good 10 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. And as far as my tastes go, I can have anything close to, like, what they have in mind. Right, so I have to stick to my guns and, like, fit things that, you know, are up my alley in there with what is going on with them. And I think that's what we do. You just improvise. You know, we feed off of the energy of the crowd that's presented and, you know, try to let that integrate, let them know that, hey, we're not going to shun you, but you got to be flexible and take a little bit of what we're giving too.
That's what's up. And again, to do that as a part of big events where everyone is invited to come in and welcomed in. What a great opportunity to educate people on a different way to do things. Again, especially in this time right now here in Portland, where so much growth is happening so quickly. Now we see the eyes outside of Portland really looking into Portland, going, y'all got something going. Y'all got something going over there. And I've had an opportunity to have the conversation with a couple of people that's great, but it's also a little scary because a lot of pressure comes. And I think creating opportunities like this can ensure that people don't lose who they are by really, really building into, like you mentioned, the root of what got us to where we are. So super, super dope, man. So you said one is sort of kicking off. This is the new beginning. This is going to be a great event that's going down on Saturday night, the 4th at Holocene. Really want to encourage everybody to come out and be a part of this. And then what?
So we're doing a brunch the next day.
Yeah.
That Vaughn will be performing at.
Brown Calculus, which is a newer project that I am a part of with my friend Andre, I'm also in Tribe Mars with him too, so we're in several bands together. But you just keep branching out.
She does not sleep. I'm like, you got a full-time job. Yeah. You got like 3 bands.
Yeah, it's usually work, rehearsal, gig, repeat.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But Brown Calculus is like our baby, and I'm so excited to share this music with everybody because it's music that I want to share with people. Right. I feel like often I might be in situations where I'm like, this is what people want from me. Right. But I'm like, okay, I can't keep doing that. I have to give people who I am or how you can't let people just feel so comfortable all the time. Because sometimes some people's comfort is unhealthy.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, let me show you what, all the other sides of blackness, Because I growing up, I've always been the weird kid in the all black neighborhood. Yeah. So I'm like, well, shoot, I'm about to put it out there. Let me y'all. All the kids who said I was weird when I was little, now they're like, you were so artsy when we were younger. It went from weird to artsy. Right. So I'm like, well, duh. I mean, I could have told you that, but yeah. But yes, sorry, I went totally off on a tangent.
No. But in terms of a taste of what that feels like, what that's gonna feel like for people.
It's like me and Dre really believe that we shared the same body in a past life, and now we've separated and come back together. Okay. So it's music that just comes from us being really in tune with one another. We're both Geminis too, so that helps as well. And it's spacey jazz weirdness, just very blunt.
Yeah.
What? No, not that kind of blunt. I mean, yeah, some that's involved sometimes in the writing process. But it's very just straightforward, relatable lyrics. But coming from our weird, creative, Astro Black American perspective.
That's what's up.
So
man. That's what's up. So
we really love Sun Ra. So that's he's our. It's like. I read his manifesto. I don't even think there is one, but I read it.
Yeah. There isn't one. They about to be one.
Right? Exactly.
So that goes down. That's happening on Sunday.
That's Sunday. So yeah, it's all about healing vibrations. We're bringing out some folks from Chicago called the Present Elders, and so their whole mission is to raise your internal vibration through the sounds of music. So they do live production. You should check them out.
Yeah.
Live PA, beat making. We're going to do pop-ups all over the city. So we're just going to set up guerrilla style and have some music out for the people.
That's what's up.
I am so excited for. I feel so lucky to be able to just be a conduit, right. I'm like, yes, come, let me find a space for you. Yeah. So they'll be at the brunch. And then we'll be doing massage and acupuncture. We'll be feeding people. And then Isaiah Spriggs is going to perform. Okay. He's going to do a couple tracks. And then Ripley Snell.
Oh, shout out to Ripley Snell.
He's, man.
He's great.
He's so great. So I haven't seen him perform alone in a while because he does Wine and Coffee with Tron. So it'll be great to see him. And it's going to be an intimate space. So it'll just be a lot of us just like.
All the homies are raw.
I know.
It's
all
so
the homies are raw. So it's just going to be like a lot of fellowshipping on some real, and then we're going to give a platform for people to speak, like a sort of soapbox type deal, open mic. Because, like, I am not an artist, but I got a lot of things in my mind. Sometimes I want to get on the mic. Yeah, so we'll be doing that from 12 to 5 Sundays. So we're going to bring your energy super high, and then we're going to balance it right back out on Sunday.
That's what's up, man. It goes without saying, in a time like this, what a wonderful thing for people to come and take part in and be a part of. So that goes down on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then there's another event that's going to be happening, Beets, Time, and Space. Mm-hmm. What's up with that?
Yeah. I don't think neither of you are going to be performing at that one. It's going to be a Dig-A-Pony.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So it's going to be Amenta Abioto. Okay. Did you see her performance? I know.
No, but I met her.
She's Amanda's like one of my favorite artists ever in my life. She is like a big inspiration to me. I love her. I just always have to plug her.
Yeah.
She's the truth that I want everyone to know.
You can feel the room shift, right? Like it feels,
Gosh, I bought her album before I moved to Portland. I'm serious.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's wonderful. Yeah, and she just keeps getting better and better, where you're like, how could this be better than the last time? And then the next time you see her, your mind is blown even further. So Amenta's going to be performing. This whole Beets, Time, and Space is like it's our love to the producer, right? Like that's my deepest. If I ever could be anything in my whole life, I would make beats and be a DJ, right? So
I just see you in my head for some reason, with a suit and a cigar. Yeah. I don't know why you're wearing a suit.
Why do I need a suit to make beats, right?
I don't know. You gotta be super bossy when you're doing it for some reason.
For sure. Yeah, that's right. So we're collaborating. Oh my God, I love you so much. I love you. So this is our first.
It just instantly, it was just sponsored.
I know, it's so good.
I was like,
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So Wine and Coffee, Amenta Abioto, the Present Elders from Chicago, Survival Skills. We're collaborating on the show together, so he's helping me out. He's a DJ, also producer, and he is just helping me organize too with this one because he's also about that beat life. And then Dead Stock Coffee, which is one of the few. I think there's only 2 Black-owned coffee shops in Portland, and he's one of them. Have you been to Dead Stock?
No.
He's a sneakerhead.
He used to work for Nike. You should check it out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Dead Stock has been super generous, and so Ian is his name, the owner. He's gonna donate some coffee, and then they do their own small print T-shirts and other things like that. But I mean, he's a sneakerhead, so the design level is up high. So Dead Stock Coffee, and then Quartet Skateboards. Okay. Small skate. They donated 3 boards to us, so it's ODB, Tribe Called Quest, and then I forget the third right now. I'm a jerk, but anyway, they're hand painted and beautiful. So I don't skate; it scares me, but somebody else does.
Look, I might just try to, I don't
skate. No, they're beautiful. It's like art. It's beautiful art. Yeah. So and we're doing that at Dig-A-Pony Friday the 10th. That's free. Word. So you just come through, feel the vibrations, level up with us, and then we're raffling off that stuff. So whatever you buy, you get a raffle ticket, and then you kick it.
That's what's up. It's so cool. I mean, just getting into the new year, to see Y.G.B continue to grow and provide these opportunities for folk to come together. As people hear this and think about, man, I really want to get involved. I have this heart for art in whatever format. What's the best way to connect?
They can email. Yeah. Facebook. Yeah. Instagram.
Yeah. Talk to me on the street.
There you go.
Yes. Say what's up to Vaughn on the street.
That's the easiest way. I'm be
Gold rim glasses.
What's the social media? What's the social media?
Jeez.
Y.G.B. Portland. On Instagram, Facebook.
Gmail.
Y.G.B. Portland.
At Gmail. Okay. Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Save the punctuation.
There's more happening that I don't know how much y'all want to put out at this juncture. Do we want to put out that? Okay, so we've mentioned Vaughn, you and Natalie are both from Chicago. We got Y.G.B. Portland. Shout out to my Maridale.
Yeah.
Listen to Welcome to the Neighborhood. We might have one of the dopest MCs out of Chicago. Precise is going to be in the neighborhood pretty soon.
You got to speak it into existence.
Right? Well, no, it's actually scheduled.
Yes.
It's actually going to happen. So we got Y.G.B. Portland, but y'all, like you said, shout out to y'all guys. Y'all repping Chicago. So what's next? What's next, Y.G.B.?
I love that you're so amused by that.
Yeah, Chicago, when you're from Chicago, you're like, that's the first thing people know about you, because it's the first thing that comes out of your mouth.
I'm from Chicago.
Right. Next, my name is Vaughn.
Right. That will explain everything else about our interactions, so don't get your feelings hurt.
Okay,
but I love you, Portland. I love you, Portland.
Right.
I love you, Portland.
Yo, hi, I'm here for a chat. How you doing? I'm from Chicago.
That's basically me.
Anybody else?
Right.
So we're gonna make that happen right now. Is what's up.
We talk about collaborations, and there are movements in place right now to grow and expand on what you folk are doing. Talk about that.
So there's a gallery in Chicago called AMFM. They just opened up. It's on in Pilsen, which is on a neighborhood in the south side of Chicago. And so we're going to be doing some work with them, bringing some artists from Chicago to Portland. We're going to do a show. We're going to have a gallery. We're going to have a talk. We're still looking for venues, so hit a lady up if you know any. And then the other beautiful thing that I'm excited about is that we get to bring artists from Portland to Chicago, right? So Portland is this beautiful, loving, I've met some of the kindest people here, right? And this air is so clean and those mountains are so beautiful, right? But the communities are small, right? So we get the opportunity as Y.G.B. to like take people to this city that has very strong, deeply rooted communities, right? Communities of color, Black folks, brown folks, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, however you want to call yourself, right? Like people who have been there and fighting the hardest fights and creating the most beautiful music and art and community out of it. So I'm honored to be able to bring some of those people and show them Chicago, and then they'll be performing there, and then we're just gonna keep that bridge open and expand. Yeah,
just amazing, man. Amazing to again give people opportunities to grow. I mean, we talk about in the digital age that we're in, how we can reach out and touch people all over the planet digitally, but to be able to do that physically, I think sometimes we lose that. And so to create that space where people can actually build physically is just, it's amazing. It's really amazing. This is going to be up tomorrow. So as you folk are listening to this, prepare to head out tomorrow night, by the time you hear this, because it'll be tomorrow's Friday. So tomorrow night, Saturday night, on your way to Holocene, you can listen to Welcome to the Neighborhood on X-Ray FM. It's going down. It's going to be an amazing event. Y.G.B. 1 kicking off the newness. So y'all need to come through early. I know how we do. We want to show up late. Whatever. Right. Not this one. It's all new. We want to be early. Representing, man. I'm so excited, like I said, to just have an opportunity to get to meet you folk. And I want to continue to use whatever platforms I have, whether it be the podcast, whether it be the radio show, to support and help build and help connect and collaborate in any ways that I can. Because I believe we're living in a time right now where there's been so much division and so much so much confusion. To be able to communicate like this is something I'm really, really grateful for. So thank you for what you've done in this last year. Thank you for what you have planned for the new year. It's pretty exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're the best.
Lamar, Vaughn, Natalie, thank you guys for coming through, man. We'll see you guys out there at Holocene. It goes down on the 4th. Y.G.B 1. Come through. Say what's up. Shake a hand.
Mm-hmm.
Dance.
Neighbor.
Right. All right, y'all. So once again, man, subscribe, spread the word, share the podcast so we can fill this place up, man, and show Portland what it's all about. Once again, catch me every Saturday night on X-Ray FM. Head up the website, djklyph.com. Hit up 37 Limited. Y.G.B has a website because I was just looking at it. Y.G.B. Hey, you do have a website.
Y.G.B Portland.
Y.G.B Portland is the website.
.com.
That's way too easy. It's right there. It's right now. www. Y.G.B Portland Instagram, as we mentioned. All right, y'all. Thanks again. Until we meet again. God bless. Peace. Yeah.